Storytelling is most definitely the most important part of any video game ever created that wants to have a decent chance at having a good story. Not only the storytelling during the game, but storytelling that is indirect, storytelling that can be observed throughout the world of the game. It lets players make scenarios in their own head and fill in gaps that the main linear storytelling of the game failed to fill. This is immensely important in GTA 5 as Rockstar did not put a large emphasis on this aspect like they did in RDR1 and RDR2. Those games more greatly support an agenda of exploration when not inside of a mission. In GTA 5, you are almost guided in a direction of just completing the main story and not exploring the open world. Sure, you have Strangers and Freaks missions, but I'm talking about lore on a grander scale. A greater picture of the map and its environment before the events of GTA 5. The game doesn't give Grapeseed that much lore in the story, and the little bit it does give us is unconfirmed, leading us to assume a lot about the area, which is never a good thing. It's fine to assume a tiny bit, but Rockstar really gave us nothing, leading us to assume mostly all of it. A lot of people might blame performance for the lack of lore in GTA 5, but that is simply not the case. Red Dead Redemption 1 released in 2010. Assuming it took a few years of development, it would have been started in about 2006 to 2007, so it would have been given the limits of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. But Red Dead Redemption 1 has a ton of lore, not only in missions but in the open world as well. There is so much to go on the information that Rockstar gave us in Red Dead Redemption 1 that allows us to once again assume about the world prior to the events of the game and its storyline, but not assume everything, as we don't have to. The strange thing is, however, is that GTA 5 does have some lore to certain areas and aspects of the world, but it is so hard to find to a new player and some of it is rarely mentioned at all. One of my viewers commented on one of my videos stating that there was supposed to be a river on the Paleto coast. I've been playing this game for over a decade now, and while I haven't played story mode nearly as much as others have, it shouldn't be such a hidden fact that a whole ass river exists outside of the map. There are also no visible concrete clues to suggest that a river is even there to begin with, assuming that there is land on the other side of a river, thus the creation of the river to begin with. Lore like this shouldn't be so hidden and minute, but this is not nearly the biggest problem in storytelling for GTA 5. While it is a major contributor, that would have to go to something I like to call implied residency. When taking a closer look at the ratio of businesses to homes in the world of GTA 5, you may notice that there are significantly less houses than other buildings. However, Rockstar expects you to believe that there are more houses than there are, when there just aren't. This is implied residency, and on the surface it's completely fine. The upper half of Los Santos has a lot of apartments that could theoretically fit a lot of people, and the other areas of Los Santos have a decent amount of homes as well. So the discrepancy between the homes and the amount of businesses is negligible. But in a place like Paleto Bay, it is not so easy to ignore. You can't just tell the player to imagine there are more entities when there just aren't. Murrieta Heights, the area where Lester lives, is so unbelievably small, with just a few houses on each block. There are mountains just outside of the town that could have been pushed back to allow for more space designated for this area. But unfortunately, Rockstar chose not to do that. If Murrieta Heights was bigger, it could have had more lore to it, but unfortunately, it just isn't. And here's where we go back to the argument of performance holding Rockstar back. But for this, we have to take a look at the past, to an older Rockstar title, GTA 4. GTA 4 predated GTA 5, but in my opinion, simulated residency and population way better than GTA 5 ever could. I've never once played GTA 4 and told myself, it looks like there aren't enough homes for all the people in this city. To me, it always looked like there was ample amounts of living space. Now I will say this, New York City historically is made up of mostly skyscrapers, so it's easier to make it look more full of residents and easier to pretend that there are more residents because theoretically, there could be enough room inside of one skyscraper for a good amount of people. But even in Alderney, an area of the map that has very little skyscrapers, it still looks spread out enough to mimic the look of a big city. For some reason, GTA 5 just didn't do this very well at all. Maybe more skyscrapers would have helped convey the idea of civilization more, But in areas like Grapeseed and Sandy Shores, this wasn't pulled off very well. And I know that they can't just be throwing around skyscrapers at every place, but they didn't even spread out the buildings enough. It just doesn't make much sense to me. This makes it very hard to make lore videos on certain areas because you can't exactly gather enough information based off of a couple of buildings. Some areas of the map do this decently though, Mirror Park being a good example. There are enough houses to mimic a suburb, and there are construction sites that make it look like more buildings are being built for a growing population. Of course, these buildings will likely never be completed, but the thought is there. I can't really think of a valid reason for this situation, to be honest. The closest excuse I can think of is that Rockstar kind of rushed Grand Theft Auto 5. They didn't have enough time to fully detail complete towns around the map, so they just didn't make them to begin with. We may never know, but I have a feeling that this will not be a problem in GTA 6. The most recent Rockstar title, Red Dead Redemption 2, did a fantastic job at showcasing living space and civilizations. When you go to Saint Denis, you really do think of it as a big city with a variety of people from all different spaces. If Rockstar puts that amount of care into making GTA 6's map, then it will be much easier to make lore videos on it. But only time will tell. I really do feel bad because in areas like Chumash, which is a highly requested area according to my comments, viewers want me to make a video on that, but I just can't. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of houses that are doing well, but I just can't gather enough information on the area from a couple of buildings and businesses. There's just not enough room. Chumash could have spread all the way down the western coast, just before the bridge to Fort Zancudo, but it just didn't. Once again, this whole thing goes back into Rockstar maybe not having the performance benefits that they do today, but I truly just don't know. And if you're looking forward to a Chumash video, I wouldn't keep your hopes very high. Mirror Park though may be on the horizon soon, as like stated in the video, it does have a good amount of lore. But once again, hopefully GTA 6 does as much better, because Red Dead Redemption 2 did it much better. And that is it, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like I just said, don't look forward to any Chumash video. It's just not gonna happen. Same with Murrieta Heights. There's just not enough for me to go off of. It's unfortunate, but there's other avenues to go down in terms of content. Grand Theft Auto 4 has a good amount of lore, and we may be visiting the city of Liberty City sometime soon. But we'll have to wait and see. Thank you all for watching so much. I hope you all have a great day, or evening, or night, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.